here's the iguana cage. Looks big, but it breaks down into modular pieces real easy. It has a sliding glass door for easy access. You can step right in there. It's tall enough a human can stand in there. Got a potty down at the bottom. That's the water dish. And then we've got limbs and several shelves and this little ramp so as to maximize climbing area inside so she can get her exercise. The sisal rope wrapped around these awesome branches helps to give her something to cling on to when she's walking around. And this ceramic heater has a built-in thermostat so we can keep it at a minimum 78 to 80 degrees. It gets colder down at the bottom, of course, but she spends most of her time in the middle and top of the cage. And there's shop fixtures, each one 4 feet long with 2 bulbs. Unfortunately, the UVB one blew out on this one and needs to be replaced. There's the food dish. I'll reach around and show you. Here we go. There's both of them lit up. One regular cool white bulb and another UVB bulb. And this carpeted shelf also runs the length of the cage. This is where she likes to sleep at night. It's right up in this corner where she can hide from view. So we keep it warm with the heater, but keep it from getting too warm with this little rig. This is something cool that we designed. These are computer fans that will evacuate the air based on what temperature that little nodule under that plastic piece tells it is. So when it hits the critical threshold, about 95 degrees, the fans ramp up to make sure it's not getting too hot inside. Hi, Green Bean. She's about 5 feet long, including her tail. And you can just barely see in the back there, there's that cable goes up into the ceiling, and that's where all the electronics are housed. So the cage is about 2.5 feet deep, and it will lean up against the wall. We just couldn't place it back there because the power outlet was right on that wall, and we had to accommodate for the power strip so it could plug in. Incidentally, all the lights, the heater, and the fans and everything runs on timers and thermostatic controls, so it's all automatic. It all comes out. There's one power cable in the back you can barely see. Just plug that in and everything runs automatic. And that little thing I'm trying to show off right there, that is the air intake. So cool air comes in the cage from the bottom, from around the room. And then warm air rises and gets evacuated by the fans on the other side. Yeah, it's convenient and easy to feed her like a dog out of the bowl, but she really gets a kick out of having collards and bananas and zucchini sticks fed to her so she can pretend she's eating them off of a tree, I guess. I think she thinks I'm some kind of walking vegetation when I feed her this way. The ever infamous iguana head bob. The universal signal for get out of my territory. I always meant to get around to painting the outside or doing something to dress it up a little bit. Maybe hunter green and brown. That's what I thought. But let's watch Green Bean play around with me. So she's very handleable, but it's prudent to wear something that'll cover up anywhere that she's going to come into contact with. You don't trim them, those claws can get sharp, especially when there's 10 pounds of iguana hanging off of them. But she likes to climb. Right now she can't decide if she wants to get on my shoulder or get on the floor. And I probably could have wore something a little bit more amenable to her climbing. She likes to be high up. Iguanas living up in the trees are accustomed to being able to see down. I'm trying to encourage her to get up on my shoulder so she can just perch up there. When she was a little girl iguana, I used to play with her dewlap. This little flap of skin underneath her chin. Now it just bugs her. But she's not aggressive in the least. Just trying to get up where she could be comfortable. I'm lucky if she doesn't get up on top of my head half the time. She's just about the most handleable large lizard I have ever had the pleasure of coming into contact with. She's been my girl for going on 8 years now. Got her when she was about 1.5 and not even as big as her tail is now. And when we're done playing, she goes right back in. Unfortunately, having a cat in the house, she doesn't get free run anymore. But she always enjoys a handling session, or at least a chance to break the monotony of living in the cage. But I figured if I was going to live in a cage, I'd want the biggest cage my owner could build for me.